So far we've learned tools and techniques for creating NURBS curves, but we've also worked on creating NURBS surfaces. And in this section we're going to bring the two together to give us more options when we design the patch layout for our model. Because so far we've been limited to creating four-sided shapes. And you can see that the CVs line up with my surface edges, and so each of these boundaries are called the natural edges of the NURBS surface. And the fifth golden rule talks about this inherent four-sided nature created by the two U and V directions. So we want to be able to keep this discipline in the CV layout, but also be more free in the shapes that we create. And we can do this by combining curves with surfaces. So here I have a curve, and this has been used to draw a shape on this rear surface using a technique called projection. And you can see how the shape of the curve controls the shape of the line on the surface. But over here I've used a second technique, which is to intersect two surfaces to create the curves on the surface, which I can then use to trim the surfaces and start to create more intricate closed shapes that combine natural surface edges with trimmed edges, but which don't affect the underlying CV layout. So we'll continue to use that technique to create a simplified side surface for the car, which again is a simple four-sided surface with a good flow of CVs, which gives us nice strong reflection and highlight lines. And you can see that I've used curves again to create the shapes on the surface, which I can use to trim the surface to the complex outline. And then finally we'll take a look at the wheel arches and see how just displaying the CVs gives you the understanding of how a surface has been created. So we'll end up building the basic side surfaces for the car. So you'll probably have Fundamentals 3 set as your current project. So now choose Fundamentals 4 and set it to Current. And in the WAR directory I've provided files for each of the tutorials if you need them. But ideally you'd just keep working on your own version of the car and create all the curves and surfaces yourself. So dive into the tutorials, or if you want more background information, take a look at Golden Rules 5 and 6. And there's also a theory builder for how trimming works in Alias.